nor the United States existed anywhere within the realm. She was just like him, had been transported here by some means. "I just hope—" Janine's voice cracked, and she pulled her hands away from him abruptly. "I just hope that I was able to save my son." A tear cascaded down her cheek, and she quickly brushed it away. "Your son?" Azure furrowed his brow, not following. "Yes. We were on a family vacation camped near the Colorado River. It had recently flooded, so the river was rushing. I had just turned my back for a moment." More tears fell as she struggled to continue. "He fell in." Her voice broke. "The water was moving so fast. I only caught a glimpse of him before he went under. I did the only thing a good mother would think of doing. I jumped in after him." Azure's heart clenched from the sadness and desperation flowing from this brave woman. He hoped beyond hope that the story had a happy ending. "What happened then? Were you able to get to him?" Janine wiped more tears away, but she nodded, a forced smile reaching her lips as bitter laughter followed. "I reached him. I remember wrapping him in my arms, but the water was moving so quickly. He was coughing and clinging to me. I've admittedly never been the best swimmer, but I tried. I tried to reach the riverbank, but the water was just moving so fast, and we kept going under." Unable to control her grief any longer, Janine hid her face in her hands. Azure wanted to comfort her, but he wasn't sure how. He'd always been useless in situations like this. "How old is your son?" he asked, making sure to use the tense that would suggest the kid had made it. 9. Joshua is 9. Janine sniffled, lifting her head and exhaling a long breath to steady herself again. "He wasn't with me when I woke up. I don't know what happened to him." "You'll find him again someday," Azure told her with a smile, unsure if it was a lie. Whatever the case, it sounded good. The hope drained from Janine's eyes as she shook her head. "I'm not so sure. First, I have to figure out how to get back." Her gaze danced around the room as if tiredly looking for an exit. "Where do you think we are?" It was the question that had been tugging at Azure ever since he discovered that Janine was from his world. She refocused her attention on him. "To answer that, I need to know how you got here." Azure sunk, his eyes shifting as he tried to remember. "I don't know." "You don't remember your life before?" Janine gave him a quizzical look. "I do." He remembered Sheila and his job at Radical Interactive. He remembered being dumped and having a generally shitty day. But that was the last thing he remembered. Normally, if he'd had a bad day, he'd plug into Masterwind to become someone else for a while. Now he was someone else. But this wasn't like any video game he had ever played before. "Did something happen to you right before you came here?" She stared at him intensely. Azure thought harder, but nothing came to him. "I think I might have started playing my favorite video game." Janine sighed. "Then I'm not sure. At first I had thought that maybe I had died, but this isn't what I was told heaven would be like. It's not hell either. Maybe limbo." He didn't remember dying, but Azure wasn't going to rule out the possibility. People died randomly all the time, though highly unlikely he may have had a brain aneurysm while playing Masterwind. If that were the case, then it wouldn't be impossible to consider he might be stuck in limbo. While Azure had never murdered anyone, he certainly hadn't been a saint. As a teenager, he had stolen medication from his grandmother to get high. He'd also shoplifted a few times. That was breaking at least one of the 10 Commandments. But shouldn't there be some rule that the sins you committed as a kid were absolved as an adult? In the human world, your criminal record was wiped clean when you became an adult, as long as your infractions were minor. Why wouldn't God be so forgiving? Didn't he know that kids were dumb and experimental by nature? It just didn't seem fair that shit from 10+ years ago should be held against him now. While he wasn't religious by any means, Azure liked to have thought that once he had turned into an adult, he had mostly straightened out and lived an honest life. He stopped stealing and engaging in the ass-hattery of youth. Never had he cheated on a girlfriend or dishonored his parents, though he did take the Lord's name in vain.